said in one of your interviews that I was listening to that you can see spirit babies like hovering over someone's shoulder. And my wife and I have been having dreams of babies recently, like in different aspects. So I'm curious if uh, that's on the way, or what you could say about that.
Is Chloe your only child?
We have a 5 year old who's named Axel, and then Chloe. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so two living children.
So you're thinking you're going to have another one. There are two baby spirits over your wife's shoulder. I connected to her from you. What's her name?
Heidi.
Heidi. All right. Doesn't mean they're going to incarnate, but they're not twins. They look like little orbs. They remind me of the orb that Glenda the Good Witch flies into Munchkin Land inside in the Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
You know, most people have seen the Wizard of Oz at some point in their life. You know how she flies around in a bubble. She's in an orb.
I'm trying to remember that
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just Google it. You know, Glenda Orb, Wizard of Oz. There'll be pictures all over it, all over about it. So two baby spirits, one's a little ahead of the other one, closer in. I think you have the potential for two more if you decide that that's what you do want to do and that's what they want to do. When I see multiple orbs over a mom's shoulder, they remind me of airplanes coming into the airport at night to land. They've got their landing lights on and they're stacked out in the distance waiting for clearance that they can come in. It's also important to note too, Derek, that baby spirits attach to the birth mom's energy field before they're conceived, and they also attach to the adopted mom's energy field before they're conceived. So
Or
that's
babies that
really
are going to be adopted.
babies that are going to be adopted. Yeah, before they're conceived. Yeah, the
Interesting.
first time I saw that, I was at a party, and the hostess had a friend that wasn't feeling well, and she said to me, "Can you scan my friend?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd never met the woman before, but apparently she'd heard about me from our mutual friend." And so I was scanning her, and I said, "Are you pregnant with twins by any chance? Because you got baby's energy above each shoulder. Are you pregnant with twins? Are you thinking about twins? What's with the twins?" And she burst into tears. And I thought, oh, heavens, I've offended this woman. She didn't look pregnant. And she said, "No, but we're flying to Guatemala on Wednesday because we're adopting twins and they're going to be born by C-section on Friday. And we're going to be there when they're born." And I thought, okay, this adopted babies choose their mom's energy field too. We all choose our parents.
Yeah, I'd be curious if that, because that's planned, so it's like very well known, but for adoption, or it's like a little bit more unpredictable, would that still be the case, you think?
Yeah, we all
Yeah.
choose our parents. We choose where we're born, when we're born, to whom we're born, and the circumstances into which we're born, so that our lives can have a basic trajectory that will allow us to explore and experience the things that we want to in this lifetime. And that includes a spirit that goes to an adopted family. Adoptive, I guess, would be the right word, because they are experiencing what it's like to come in and be born from the birth mom and then be given away and then be raised by somebody else that they've chosen. The other interesting thing is, back to the 12 phases of transition, when somebody is dying, it's the closest maternal spirit to the person who's dying that runs the show from the spirit world. They show up first.
Hmm.
And then they bring in the other spirits, and they bring in the angels, and they bring in the pet spirits. And if it's someone who's dying, who's been raised in an adoptive home, it's the adoptive mother. It's the one that took care of them and raised them who runs the show from the spirit world. The bio mom is there, but it's the adoptive mom who runs the show, which I thought was really fascinating.
Yeah, that's really that's new information for me. So here's debate that's happening in our culture right now of this whole like the Roe v. Wade being overturned by the Supreme Court, and there's some debate over like when does the spirit enter the cells of the baby. Do you have any insight about that?
I get at the moment of conception, the spirit is in the cells. I also get that that's part of what that spirit wants to explore in the aborted baby. That spirit wants to explore what it feels like to be aborted as a fetus. And the birth mom wants to explore that as well. What's it like to go through an abortion? So perhaps they changed roles in a past life. Perhaps the mom was the aborted fetus and the aborted fetus was the mom or the dad or the whomever, the doctor performing the abortion. So we all choose different roles. So back to the past life discussion that we had a few minutes ago, we can explore and experience things from different perspectives. Same script, there's an abortion playing different roles, kind of like you're in a movie.
Which is in a way a nice perspective that it's not like that there's some element of choice and it's not like purely a oh no this is the worst thing ever, but it's like something that souls are choosing to experience and learn from.
What I've been told countless times is that there's no right or wrong, good or bad in the spirit world, Derek. It's just all an experience. So we look at a life experience as sometimes horrific, and spirit's looking at it like, oh, this is interesting. How can I create out of this? Sometimes the healing and sometimes the experience is death. I'm gonna create death out of this, but I'm gonna create it in this way. So we all, when we know what we don't want, it helps us create, which is why we're all here, is to create. It helps us know what we do want, and it helps us create what we do want. Because if we'd never had anything that we disliked in the human form, we just hody-do through life and it would be boring. I was talking to my son this morning and he had a dilemma that he was working on and he was all wound up. And I said, honey, it's just part of the adventure of life. He goes, well, this is not an adventure I signed up for. And I said, wait, look at what you're creating out of it. It all works out. You can't ever get it all done. And everything always works out to our benefit. And my viewpoint is, okay, the worst thing that can happen to me is I die and I'm carried to heaven, escorted to heaven by angels. Okay. And I'm with my deceased loved ones. That's the worst thing that can happen to me. Everything else is moot point. Create out of the conflict, create out of what we don't like, create what we do like.